Good evening and welcome. Opening today's presentation, I would like to ask you a couple of questions, which go as follow. Do you struggle with focusing in one thing at a time when it comes in regard of your own personal objectives in life? And do you feel like your desires come and go with that of the calling of the wind? I want you to think about this for a moment and be as honest as you may. It is natural to feel this emotion that comes and starts to accumulate somewhere here deep down in your stomach. If it is a negative answer, if you say that you do struggle with pursuing your goals and make them a reality, perhaps it is consistency. But I'll tell you exactly that the reason is a lack of will. And for today's video, we will honor this presentation in the name of Dr. Guglielmo Marconi, an Italian scientist who was claimed to be the inventor of the radio for many years. Although he no longer holds the title, his contributions revolutionized the world of wireless communication forever. And what you're seeing right now, it's a derivative of his work, truly. On his name, we're dedicating the title for the development, understanding, and use of your higher faculty of will. We will use his life as an example of what will looks like and how you can learn from his experience and implement it in yours. And by the end of this video, you will learn how to pretty much keep yourself persistent in purposeful repetition with a burning desire. Now, to briefly describe what will exactly is, we could say that very simply, draw what's called a body-mind diagram. This has been thoroughly discussed in many other videos, but shortly put, this is a description or an interpretation of your mind, which is composed of your conscious and subconscious mind and your body. Your conscious mind takes care of filtering all kinds of information, and your subconscious mind will process it and make your body act upon it. And will is, shortly put, as a combination of being able to set aside through the use of your conscious mind all negative things that do not align with your purpose in life. And secondly, this can be described as the sum of purposeful concentration. Before I jump into the second element, concentration for will means that you entertain only positive thoughts, or you allow them in and you entertain them only in your subconscious mind. And only those things which align with those desires that you're looking after. Anything else that is irrelevant, that does not hold any value, you will set aside. And you will only focus your attention on these particular positive traits. Because you will learn in a moment that there is indeed a lot of noise around you, which can be both positive and negative noise. In fact, we have discussed that you possess senses. You possess 6 senses which are sight, hearing, smelling, tasting, feeling, as in touch, and a sixth sense of reception. And that sixth sense of reception will be mostly become disturbed by many ideas that exist surrounding you from what we call infinite intelligence. This is ideas all around you that if you do not know how to filter out, your mind can become cluttered with many ideas that are very positive at the time, but we are not good multitaskers, and you need purposeful concentration. Therefore, only taking those positive ideas that contribute towards attainment of your goal. Anything else will only delay you and will cause subsequent negative results. And lastly, I would like to quote a very famous saying from a conversation between the famous president John F. Kennedy and head scientist of the space program in the United States back then when we were experiencing the Cold War. Mr. John F. Kennedy had the mission to send a man to the moon, and he asked to Mr. von Werner Braun, what will it take to take the man to the moon and return him to Earth safely? And Mr. Werner von Braun answered with 5 words: the will to do it. In other words, we can say it's this, but as well, aside of a purposeful concentration, this is too having a burning desire towards the attainment of your goals. This is to truly want something and to act into using your senses as filters that only allow in, through purposeful concentration, the positive things that will therefore give you only positive results. Now, what we see here, as I mentioned before, is a body and mind diagram which has been thoroughly explained by Mr. Bob Proctor. I highly recommend and cannot become exhausted of suggesting you to look at his work, as he puts this in a very brilliant manner that's always extremely easy to understand. He dedicated more than 60 years of his life into making sure you could understand this in the most easiest of ways. But as an example, we have learned now how your senses act as a filter, how you have a capacity of thought. Incredibly important. This depends on your capacity of inductive thought. Inductive thought. This means that you can think and recognize which is purposeful and which is not. If you lack the capacity of thought, which is inductive, that is called deductive thought, which only leads for negative results. More often, it will lead to negative results. This deductive thought is when you lack this barrier here of thoughts, and negative things will rather go straight down into your subconscious without you even realizing it. This is consuming without putting any thought on things, and your body will only reflect back at you negative results. You must learn how to develop this capacity of inductive thought. It is incredibly important, and Mr. Marconi, Dr. Guglielmo Marconi, was a prime example of this. But as a last practical example, I would like to show you how we can interpret this work of the mind. Here we have a beautiful fire extinguisher. And this fire extinguisher we let to represent information that exists around you. It doesn't matter what kind of information is. I've been using red and blue for positive and negative, but this is just information in general. It can be positive or it can be negative. Your hands are like your mind, and life more often throws information at you. When I am looking to the attainment of a desire through purposeful concentration, I will be able with the use of the faculty of will, grab this piece of information and say, will I entertain this? Because as you can notice, I have to grab it with both my hands. Your mind can only truly entertain one thought at a time. Think about this. It only entertains one thought at a time. And this thought can be positive or it can be negative. When I indulge in lack of concentration, this is when life throws at me then another thought, and I attempt to grab it by dropping this one, and I cut it with my face there. That's one fantastic example. But instead, I drop it and I grab this one. I have lost concentration here, and I got distracted by a rather poor piece of information, which comes in the form of noise or perhaps another shiny idea, which is useless to the attainment of that desire I have. What do I have to do? This is deductive thought. When something just comes by and I grab it without thinking, without using my capacity of thought. I have filters. I have my senses. I have sight. I have hearing. I can smell. I can taste. I can feel, and I can be receptive to thoughts, to ideas from infinite intelligence. And if I have a poor training on these things, I will always let go of this to grab whatever comes my way. You must develop a discipline about this. When you have inductive thought, you will receive information from infinite intelligence that's giving you positive ideas that go towards your goal, and you will entertain only those things. This means that whenever life throws something at you, you will simply ignore it. You will let it go. You will not even look at it. It will not distract you. Your concentration is purposeful. It's here because you know this is positive. This is what I need. And only I will change this whenever life gives me something that has even more value or adds value to this, or perhaps I need to update myself. Now I can entertain another thought. But you can only entertain with quality one thought at a time. We are not good multitaskers. Think really of your hands as your mind, and only entertain one thing at a time with all of your attention, with all of your purposeful concentration into the attainment of its realization. How did Guglielmo Marconi use this in his real life? And I believe that his biography is a prime example. Since he was a little kid, he received an idea from infinite intelligence of further developing wireless communication. to be able to communicate through the ether, as they would call it back then, without any cables. That only seemed as foolish and magic. And throughout his life, many people thought he was crazy, and they did attempt to send him into the asylum. Yet, he developed from a very early age a positive-oriented paradigm. A paradigm is the program that's running on your subconscious mind that dictates your patterns. We as humans work in patterns. If you have a negative-oriented paradigm, you will only always see negative results in your lives. Especially if you do not have a well-developed inductive thought, you will always be deductive, or you will always fall into the use of deductive thought, which has a claim of life happens to you. Think about it. If you feel like this is because you have not developed inductive thought. Be selective. And Dr. Guglielmo Marconi, as I was saying, from an early age, developed his own system because he did not just have a purposeful concentration for a burning desire. He truly wanted to achieve creating wireless communication through the ether. And he did help in the development of this revolutionizing technology. Yet, he always aspired to repeat this system to grow and grow and grow higher on his goals. Mostly, and during his lifetime, he would refer to this as increasing the range of his radio communication systems, because initially it was thought that it could only have a very small distance travel, a few kilometers, and by the end of his life he found a way to almost make it completely intercontinental. And this system looked like this. Shortly put, he will transmit, fail, adjust, extend distance, and repeat. That was his system, which he developed from an early age. When he was 20, he was already creating great devices. And this only led to a development of a positive-oriented paradigm that always kept on giving him positive results. It was not easy. Of course, it was not just failure. There was at times ridicule. People thought that he was crazy. He would perhaps not get the support that he wanted, because initially he attempted to get the support from his homeland in Italy, where he did not get it. He decided to not let that setback define his success, and he went to the United Kingdom, where he found people that were greatly interested on his idea, and they helped him develop. Step by step, he would achieve his burning desire in steps. He will say something like, I will develop a system of wireless communication. It's a burning desire. I will extend its distance, and I will keep on extending it and making sure that I keep on bidding my previous self to become better, stronger, go higher and higher. And truly, Dr. Guglielmo Marconi, he demonstrated that the sky is the limit. Lastly, you must understand that he was truly not the smartest mathematician or physicist. but he achieved great success because of his understanding of the faculty of will. And in a simple way of describing it with 3 words, will is consists of a burning desire that you want to achieve in life. Persistence. Persistence is the flow that pushes you through faith. Dr. Guglielmo Marconi had faith that he could achieve these results. But he needed persistence in order to move whenever he faced adversity and failure, or in this case, setbacks. Failure only occurs when you have completely given up. When you say, this is my dream, and you drop it, you have then failed. And when you do nothing in order to pick it up from the ground. And lastly, similar to this, it is an obsession, but this we put in the terms of repetition, which is purposeful repetition. This is also developing your higher faculty of memory. Memory uses the principle of repetition, and when you make it purposeful, you learn much faster. You memorize things much faster when you attach emotions to these things. This meant everything to Dr. Guglielmo Marconi. His heart was full of a burning desire. Energized. And this led to his everlasting, purposeful concentration, his will to do it, and always giving him back great success through positive results, through the use of a positive-oriented paradigm by engaging in a healthy system that kept on pushing him forward, that was not stagnating. Mr. Guglielmo Marconi understood well as well the principle of the equation of the conservation of energy, which is potential energy and kinetic energy. Energy as a whole is the reception of infinite intelligence through these ideas. How to take something that was aligning exclusively to his achievement of the goal, his infinite potential energy came on knowing that he had faith, great faith on himself, that he had the potential. But Mr. Guglielmo Marconi was no lazy man, and he always, even in the slightest, simplest of steps, will take and convert it into action, execution. And only when you have potential and kinetic energy, the full system operates, exists. One cannot exist without the other. Hence, this is an equation. Understand that for Mr. Guglielmo Marconi, will was not intensity, but rather duration and consistency. He was consistent on his progress, on his every step in life. This also translates as having endurance, as having iteration, as being obsessed. There's plenty of examples. One that rings a bell in this instant, which is contemporary, is David Goggins, who has shown this obsession towards the attainment of his results through consistency and iteration. Now, as an exercise, I will invite you yet again to develop a small habit of the attainment of a small victory throughout your day. It can be something extremely simple, such as mentioned before, you may grab a cup of coffee and go outside in the morning, 10 minutes, and engage in positive thinking. It should be something that you like. It should be something that motivates you to do it. Do not try to engage in something that you will feel wretched and you will feel like you truly do not want to do, but you're just pushing yourself. This is going against what you truly want. It should be something that you really would like to do. It doesn't matter if it starts as a form of a pleasure, as long as you do it purposefully, in knowing that you are doing it with a consistent pattern, then go for it. But take in mind that this should be something positive on its nature. Generous and kind towards yourself. It should not be a destructive activity that will only stop you from making progress throughout the day. Ideally, something that you can connect with another activity to create even more purpose throughout the day on making a chain of activities that one depends out of the other. And this will make you feel more motivated into following all of these steps, becoming more consistent, and creating a routine that gives you purposeful concentration and a burning desire. That's why most routines fail, because people will set a routine that does not make them feel energized, that their hearts do not feel happy and content. Go only after something simple, small, that makes your heart happy. But it must be, by all means, positive and generous and kind towards yourself. With this, I conclude today's presentation, and I hope that this proved to be helpful for you. May you enjoy of its benefits and find growth in all sorts of things. As this will have a great positive subproduct, such as stepping away from addictions and negative influences by engaging in the inductive thoughts, your capacity of inductive thoughts. Extremely powerful capacity that many people do not know how to develop, yet we all possess. Remember that because you have the capacity of thought, that does not mean that you think. Thank you so much for watching. I wish you the best and Happy New Year as well, rather soon, in just 5 more days.